Hello YouTube, I'm back again with another deck profile. I'm doing an update because I finally got my playset of queens, and I'm waiting to get them in person, and I only want to do this deck profile once I got the playset, as well as it's confirmed by the seller. And even though there may be tracking, I do know for sure it's on the way. In this video, I'm not going to be too much explaining because it's just a waste of time. I'm just going to explain just the card choices and what they do and what they're for, but I'm not going to make it as long-winded as I did with my previous videos. As you know, we're playing Purple Blue Kaido as my first deck, nothing new. We're playing for Kaya because it has a 2k counter and allows us to draw early as well as draw 2 and trash 2. Who's Who, pretty much the same thing. Look at the top 5, you get to add one Animal Pink Kingdom Pirate card besides Who's Who. We're playing 2 Black Maria simply because it's an easy block to summon going second. And just in case, just to add more defense since we don't have that much life. Playing another 2k counter, which happens to be a 3 Dawn cost, Sasaki. On play, he shuffles all the cards from your hand to the deck, and you draw that many cards. For ulti, which is a 4 cost and it's a blue card, since we control a multicolor leader, we get to look at the top 3 and we add one of them, and then the last 2 either go to the bottom or top of your deck in any order. Our purple 4 cost ulti, which happens to be a 2k counter, we are simply playing it because we're also playing our vanilla page 1s, and it's to help you extend your board. Since we don't have that many characters that allow us to play extra characters from hand, but just in case, it can come in handy. So you'll notice we're playing 4 bodies of page 1. This one's actually a lot better considering the other page 1s are, simply because of its attack stat as well as its cost. Simply because we're able to play it off ulti, and it requires one page 1 that's 4 or less. It's always important to have a page 1 as a counter, and for now it may not look like the best, but it's more aggressive. And I mentioned before, and I'm so happy to find out I'm going to be getting my playset of queen blockers, which happen to be from STO4. If you guys don't know what it does, it's a blocker. On play, you have the choice whether to -1 Dawn. You draw 2 cards and you trash 1 from your hand. We're also playing 2 King. It's not that great going more than 2. I think 2 is good enough as it is. It just isn't a strong later game, but you need it just in case to help you get you started, just to bring out a strong board, as well as reduce your opponent's characters. As well as it has synergy with our leader, so whenever you pop one, whenever you KO one, you get an extra active Dawn. Another card that also helps helps and synergize with our leader happens to be 9 cost Kaido, which is also purple. Again, not really much to explain. You -5 Dawn. This turn, you can destroy a character that your opponent controls that costs 6 or less, and if you do, against Rush's turn. And on top of that, has the power of 10k, which could really hurt your opponent a lot, simply because they're forced to use a lot of counters, or it's gonna help you later in game in order to basically help you increase your board. But this can really punish your opponent that might have a lot of counters at hand, but at the same time, it is most needed. Our other purple Kaido, which happens to be a 10 cost, which is 12k. Personally, I think the one you only need the one. You can easily search off with the Usu or your other cards or draw it off, but it can come in really handy. But what I would do is I would combat with my characters first. I would battle with my characters first before I play this card, and then I don't use any of my Dawn on my characters, because if you do, it's like you wouldn't be allowed to summon this guy. So afterwards, I'll summon him. I'll reduce the 6 Dawn, and I nuke everything on the field all the other characters on the field besides itself. And that can actually help you open up, like, basically help get rid of your opponent's resource, as well as increasing the odds of you taking advantage, because you know what's in your hand, and you play it out when it's most needed. If you have whatever cards that can help you be able to, like, extend afterwards. Another card that helps extend, which you'll notice, is we are playing another 10 cost Kaido that has 12k power, but it's blue. On play, if your opponent has 3 or less life, you get to literally draw 4 cards. Overall, I do think this is the best draw card simply because you don't minus. I understand the whole concept why it may not be that great because you're using up all your Dawn, but if you're playing a lot of, like, 2k counters, if cards that can help you trash, or cards that help you be able to, like, change the tide of the duel for next turn, it can really help because it's allowing you to get cards like your events, which sometimes they can brick, because we are playing a lot of events too, as you notice. But in case the cards in your hand aren't enough, you always want to resort to drawing 4, even if it means not being able to use your Dawn afterwards. It is really worth it, you guys, simply due to the fact that you want to be able to get the opportunity to play more cards. And speaking of events, we're playing 3 Gum Gum Jet Gatling. Not much to say. It's a card that literally costs 0. You trash 1 from your hand, and when your leader character gains 3,000 till the end of the battle. And if this card is triggered, you get to add 1 active Dawn. We're also playing another event, which happens to be Gravity Blade Raging Tiger. Crazy card, as it's a main. During the main, you can place up to characters that cost 6 or less onto the bottom of the owner's deck, and on trigger, you could place 1 character on the field to the bottom of the owner's deck. And for our final card, which happens to be the stage, no exceptions, you got to play this card at least 3. Some people might say it's best to play 4, but for several purposes. Why? Because you're minusing a lot of Dawn, and it helps you be able to, like, go into your, like, big heavy impact cards a lot more sooner. But since you're manipulating Dawn, since you're reducing your Dawn, you always want to have Onigashima out. I understand playing 4, but I feel like the moment you have 1, then the other 2 are just bricky. But that's why you have cards like Queen, you have the Gatling that help you discard it, especially when you know it isn't helping. But 3, because we know we have ways of getting it out. But to be able to, like, again, you can't be able to play perfect, but to be able to, like, perfect the deck, and it's not going to be perfectly, but you got to always make sure that you have Dawn that you can rack up once you waste it, and it helps you keep on track, because again, with One Piece, like, if you end up losing Dawn, it could put you at a huge disadvantage, in which this deck unfortunately can face. But overall, it's really fun, it's unique, it's creative, and it's a very intriguing deck to play. And of course, considering the advantages it has, of course it probably needs those disadvantages to keep it in check. But I was glad to do this deck profile, guys. I'm not sure whether there'll be more in the upcoming future, but if I can make a more interesting build later on, and if I find anything intriguing that makes the deck more viable as it is right now currently, in order to better my options, I'll figure out later in the future, but not right now. But overall, you guys, I feel like I said enough. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to check for more upcoming content later in the future. Be sure to check your notifications, comment, like, subscribe. Thank you.